All right, here we go. Second game. It's 1-0 for Robin. And yeah, this is kind of a game where the non-red deck has to win, right? You have to take the opportunity to win on the play because on the draw it's so much harder.
Yes, there's a huge difference in
And
tempo and in your ability to answer. Like the difference between 1 and 2 mana with removal and interactive spells is so huge. While he can just beat you with quick beats at every casting cost.
and you don't want to get in a reactive stance usually.
Yes.
It's so much better because the red deck is so bad in defending. But it's not always difficult. We see here, interesting hands, yeah. Both players keep the bunt deck with a remand and a counter's judgment, which is a reasonable defense. We see, Falkenrath Noble. That's a strong one-drop play. That's much better than Mokfinet. We see
But
here,
he has a cat that's not a human, so he
yeah.
can. But there's removal in Robin's hand.
And one of the best removal.
Yes.
The Searing Blaze. It feels so bad. It's like, oh, please don't let him remove my creature. And then they remove the creature and you get the 3 damage.
Yes.
Yeah, he thinks about it. Maybe playing a creature is better. But decides that getting the counter on the Noble is most important here.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. You have to get the counters flowing, so it's always bigger than what the opponent can do.
All right, counter on the Noble. And this gets out of hand quickly. Like, you have to deal with it rather sooner than later because, well, you take more damage each turn. Fetched in here. There's an interesting line. You can play the Deathrite Shaman and the Remand, but you could also play the Council Judgment.
Yes, it's hard to say what's correct in this spot.
Usually, Remand doesn't seem to be a good card against the red deck.
No, they can just replay the spell. You would have to know that they have, like, now it would be good, but it's only because we know the hands.
Yeah.
You usually have 1-drops, so they try a 2-drop, you remand it, and they just play the 1-drop. So I guess just in a vacuum, it's better to just remove the creature and.
So is it maybe a good idea to use the remand as early as possible that you actually gain a turn from it?
You're probably right. That's also a factor.
Like in a later game, that's a good remand target.
Yes, it is.
But he goes for the Ash Sealer, and here you see, yeah, that actually makes a difference,
Yes,
which is nice. Now you do take 2 damage, and the Noble grows again, but maybe that's the speed. And we can actually see, that can be very heavy. We can see Christoph having access to 5 mana with the Deathrite Shaman, and we also see the Gearhawk.
Yes, that could be really good. Huge blockers are one of the problems of the red decks.
Yeah, not only huge blocker, it's a huge attacker once it's stabilized.
Also true, yes.
We see Elspeth getting the Gearhawk. Yeah, but he decides to go with Elspeth instead.
I don't know if I like that. I would have liked your idea with the Gearhawk better.
Yeah, because now also the Deathrite Shaman is kind of just sitting around. Like,
yes.
Yeah. And the token, is the token a human? Or is it a soldier?
Is it a human soldier?
It might be.
Let's
Apparently it's just a soldier, so it can block.
Then it can block. That's what it did.
And Ashley gets in for 2. Ashley also has a very interesting second ability, which comes up from time to time, which is interesting. When you play a card from your graveyard to get 2 damage, and there are quite a lot of cards that are being played from the graveyard.
Yes, as if we drew that up.
How convenient. And that's also a thing to miss easily. And I don't know if the Great Devil here are very, very appealing cards, because if the opponent tries to be cheap, like creatures and answers, that's going to be punishing.
Yes.
So what are we doing now? We have an Elspeth that makes tokens. We have some interesting options here. We're going Council's Judgment. Ouch, 2 damage.
Yeah, but I
And
guess he has to. The longer this stays in play, with Robin on 20 life, the more he gets in a position where he just cannot play spells at all.
yeah, that is true. Spell Queller also a bit awkward of a card because usually the Spell Queller can just be removed from all the various spells.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's just a little speed bump, nothing more.
Yeah, you would be really happy if you find a block with it, maybe. Oh, Ball Lightning. So iconic, so dangerous. It can be blocked from the snap with the Snapcaster Mage, but that doesn't do a whole lot. Christoph already died.
It just soaks up 1 damage. It doesn't do anything.
And there's 11 damage coming through. There's not even much power and blocking. If you use the Deathfire Shaman for the Snapcaster Mage, you're already reducing it by 2 toughness. So,
yeah, if he blocks with a Snapcaster, he's just dead. Because if he has 11 damage with Trample, or is he? No, he isn't. He can block the other 2 creatures. That's right.
Yeah, but there still would be so much damage here. 2 life from Deathfire Shaman, and that brings Christoph down to 5 after the whole attack. Not looking good. We see draw step is that's good.
And that bring him back into the game.
Oh, that was the perfect draw because now he can actually play it twice.
Yeah, you're right with the Snapcaster. Yes.
Wow.
But this will deal 3 damage to him.
If he doesn't
He doesn't kill the Ash Dealer first, so he must kill the Ash Dealer.
Exactly, and Robin still has 4 cards in hand now, so it's still, yeah, we see swords.
Okay, he does it. He knows about it. That's good.
And there's the block. Snapcaster also cannot block the Fargrath Noble.
Yeah.
The Cult Marauders. Ooh, they get eaten. And probably going to see rewind that whole action now. There's also a very interesting late game card in Robin's hand with the Dragon Whisperer, which can be pretty dominating if it's not answered. And since all the removal spells are getting straight off right here, it might be that it just stays on the battlefield.
Yes.
Dragon Whisperer, long.
It's a good card in the late game. It's surprising how good a 2-drop can be in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, for people who don't know, there's a lot of text on the card. It actually says that you gain flying for a red. You gain, like the creature itself, it gets +1/+0 for 2 mana, so it can right now be a 4 power flying attacker. And if you have Formidable, which is 8 other power, like 8 power in creatures you have, then you can make dragons. And that's very potent because right now, if you play the Whisperer, you actually do have 8 power on the battlefield. So Elspeth doing a lot of work here. We see Manatide, probably not the card you want to draw in the late game.
Yes, and he's stuck on 4 mana, so his Hulk doesn't come out at all.
Yeah. It's brutal to see that you had the opportunity to play the Gear Hulk and then you think, oh, maybe I play it a few turns later, but just the land. And now you actually don't want to draw lands because you need answers. Yes. Monastery Swiftspear here. Good draw.
Between a rock and a hard place. If you draw lands, you don't win, and if you don't draw lands, you cannot play your best card.
I don't actually know. Does the Bandless play Wrath of God usually? Like some kind of sweeper effects? We saw a Supreme Verdict in the last game, so maybe that's...
I think he plays a Wrath and a Supreme Verdict. That depends on how the Bandless is built, but this mid-range or control-ish builds usually play between 1 to 3.
So here, Snapcaster, it actually does not look that bad now. All the creatures are answered. The Marauders will die next turn. Christoph is going to 3.
Yeah, because of life is like 3 life is like nothing. Every single top deck kills you.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Almost every burn spell kills you.
And we have now actually the Flyer in play, which there is no answer for right now.
Yes.
The Dragon Whisperer is also not legendary, so Caracas cannot bounce it. And we see Sylvan Library, also not the best card you want to draw.
Yeah, I guess he's dead.
Yeah. That's also cool in Highlander. Like, you see, you meet so many interesting cards which you might not have known for a long time. Uh, there's so many cards I've seen people reach. Do you know what was it Tesserate's no Tiferi's approached us or something? Let me get it. It's a card for 2 mana and it counters an ability that targets one of your lands.
Yeah, I know the kind. Doesn't it also draw a card or something?
It draws 2 cards and counters the ability and destroys the permanent that it targeted. So when you use, for example, an Ajani, and to tap the land, and Ajani is destroyed, and you draw 2 cards. And I actually seen that card played against me on the tournament, and my opponent said, "You can read it." It's like, no, I love that card. I know what it does. And then he said, "You're the first person
who funny.
who didn't read the card." And here we see it's game. Mono Red wins again, goes to the semifinals.
Yeah, we saw the brutal speed and the consistency of the red deck. Wasn't a bad draw on Christoph's part. It wasn't just good. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah. All right. So join in for the semifinals here.